Who's heading to semis? Masters men take their shot at quarterfinals. We'll highlight the top performances from last weekend next. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the Talking Elite Fitness Studios. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez. Lauren Khalil will be with us in just a second. We're taking a look at the Masters men's divisions following their online quarterfinals this past weekend. And what's cool about some of these divisions, especially the younger ones, and you can say this for the women too, is that you're starting to see these athletes that we watch compete at the CrossFit Games, 5 or 6 years in a row, now filter into the age groups.
Yeah, 9 of the top 30 in the 30 to 35 division for the men were former individual competitors. And honestly, I took a look at that leaderboard, and it kind of reminded me of the old Central East leaderboard, seeing Bailey, Panchik, Froning, Dancer. Some of those names we're used to seeing mix it up in the Midwest are now Masters athletes.
We'll have more on some of those athletes that Tommy mentioned here in just a second. But first, let's take a look at your overall leaders for each age division. Right now, these scores are still unofficial. Sam Dancer is on top of the leaderboard for the 35 to 39-year-old men, his second season as a master. No shock to see Jason Grubb there leading the 45 to 49-year-old division. Kevin Kester, more on him in a second. He's your leader in the 55 to 59-year-old division. And Dave Walden and Freddie Cherry for the 60-plus athletes. But let's talk about Kevin Kester in that 55 to 59-year-old division, because I look at his numbers and I go, there is no way this guy is in that age group.
Yeah, the only reason you can tell he's in that age group is because of the all-white beard. But Kevin Kester's performance at the games speaks for itself. It's an odd-numbered year. It's 2023, so that means we get him at the games. He's a 3-time champ. In the last 3 years, he won 17, 19, 21, taking years off in between to, focus on his career and family. But if you look at his performance this past weekend, the lowest point total of any division winner on the men's side. His only blemish was a 21st in 2B, but if you look at who's going on to semifinals, only 7 of the 20 athletes ahead of him in that test are moving forward. So that finish actually improves as we narrow the field just slightly, and it's another great opportunity for him to add a 4th title to his belt.
That is extremely impressive, and congratulations to him and everybody who is leading their respective divisions right now. And he is going to have a chance to get himself on the podium. We're going to have 4 divisions in the men's Masters that have openings on the podium, starting with the 35 to 39-year-old division. That will have 2, both Roy Gamboa and Craig Kenny, not here this year. Alexander Olive in the 40 to 44-year-old division is not back. Mike Egan in the 55 to 59, and then 2 openings in the 65 plus division. But let's talk about some top performances here. Who really stood out to you for the Masters men this past weekend?
Well, obviously there's a handful of athletes around the board that threw up some big weights, but Julia Silvino in the 50 to 54, just shy of 315 pounds, 3 big wheels. That was good enough for second in his division. He's someone that typically excels in this online format. Obviously, he's in first now. He won the online qualifier for the age groups back in 2021. But more importantly, he is yet to find his footing fully at the games. No finishes inside the top 5, 4 trips to Madison. And right now, he's the young athlete in his division. We've seen that transition happen when you go from being the older guy in the division to the new. It can really reignite your performance as far as the games is concerned. And I think this is a good opportunity for him to finally get over that hump.
I will ask the same question to the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Let's bring in Lauren Khalil now. And Lauren, who stood out to you on the men's side this past weekend?
Thanks, Sean. One of the most notable performances on the men's side for me, you know his name, especially if you're a fan of the Masters division, Jason Grubb in the 45 to 49 division. He takes unofficially 1st place. He has 3 games gold medals and 1 bronze. This is the only time, though, that he's won this early in the season, and he was 33 points ahead of 2nd place. He finished 1st at Wodapalooza leading into the season, and then even earlier this past fall, he also finished 1st at the Legends Championship. The unofficial scores, his 2 best were test 1, where he finished 1st in 8 minutes and 42 seconds, and then his 2nd best finish was test number 4, where he took 2nd, 6 minutes and 51 seconds. As for a surprising performance in the men's age group, it was Sam Dancer standing on top of the podium, and right beneath him, Rich Froning, him dipping his toes into the age group masters division this year. But for Sam Dancer, this is the first time we've seen him back in live competition since he ultimately had to withdraw at the games last year after a bicep injury. Now, seeing him on top of the leaderboard, I think this is very exciting for where we can project to see Sam the rest of the season. He's less than a year out from his surgery, and just looking at his stats from over the weekend, test 2, he finished 15th, which was a heavy clean. He cleaned 352 pounds. That was a little bit surprising to me. But then if you look at some of the other scores, more than half of them are outliers, people who just did not finish nearly as well in some of the other workouts. And then what also surprised me is his capacity and his engine in test 3. He finished first in 15 minutes and 31 seconds. That was the running and rope climb workout. Just impressive overall. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Lauren. Let's take a look now at some of the key dates coming up for the age group athletes as they move ahead to semifinals on April 17th. That is when registration for the semifinals will open. Workouts and floor plans will be released the following week. On April 29th, that's when your scores are due for the first 2 workouts, and then the following day, April 30th, is when your final 2 scores are due as well. Congratulations to all the athletes who are moving on to semifinals, and best of luck as you look to work your way to Madison, Wisconsin. We have plenty of content out for you right now. You can head over to our YouTube channel. Check out our new show, Death By, hosted by Lauren Khalil. That has been a lot of fun. All the kids are talking about it. You can also watch our age group quarterfinal recap for the women. Be sure to listen to our podcast. That will be available this Friday. Some big news going on the individual side for the men. We'll recap that, talk about the ramifications of Ricky Garrard no longer being in the men's field, having to withdraw because of an injury. And then on Sunday, we'll have an interview that Jeremy Austin did with Oceania athlete Caitlin Van Zyl. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Patreon if you see fit. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. For Tommy Marquez and Lauren Khalil, I'm Sean Woodland, and we will talk to you next time.